Here we go. It's Smoove. Today we're going to be talking about women who are struggling to date in their 30s and why. Let's jump right into the video.
Dating at 30 is so much different than dating at 26. Like, everyone is just like so like straightforward, and like the games are like really done, and like everyone's just like, yeah, like I'm looking for someone, and like I'm not fucking around, which is like
so nice.
It's refreshing. It's easier.
When you're younger in your 20s, like who the wants to get married and settle down?
Yeah.
Some people, but not me at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to feel the thrill. I want to be getting my head bashed into the mattress. I want to be getting flipped upside down, and then I want to be getting ghosted the next day. I want to have my heart ripped out of my chest, and I want to do it all over again and then some. And then when you get a little older, you're kind of like, I literally don't have time.
Right. Call her daddy needs to be studied. This phenomenon is blowing my mind. Whether you believe practice makes progress or practice makes perfect, whatever you are practicing for are the results that you're going to get. I've never seen a scenario where people will practice failing for a successful result later on in life. But carry on. Next video.
Here's the thing. I love being in my mid-30s, but being in your mid-30s while trying to date, and specifically trying to date in Dallas, it's not for the weak. It's not for the weak. I got rid of dating apps well over 6 months ago. I had dated a guy from the apps, ended up being emotionally unavailable and immature, and just could not commit to a relationship. Like, I don't understand how you can date somebody, ask them to be your girlfriend, and then a week later be like, I don't have feelings for you anymore.
This is atypical of men. This is not the average men's behavior. The men who she is talking about are the men that are way higher on the totem pole, where you're talking about the top 5, top 10%, maybe top 20 could behave like this. Most men, let's be real, they're not even able to behave like this. They don't have the optionality to be able to behave like this. It's just not a thing. And those men, they don't. So when you decide that you want to date these men who are way up here, then you have to understand your strategy must be different. We're not saying that it's unrealistic to try to obtain those men, but if you want to retain those men, then you are going to have to offer so much more, because he has so many options. And why would he be committed to a woman who is going to yield average results? It just doesn't make sense. That math ain't mathin'. Carry on.
Fucking for real. I can laugh about it now, but I was not laughing about it when this was going on. But anyway, I just need to understand where men that are emotionally available and open for dating and want to actually build something, where do you all exist in this city? Because I've been here for almost 10 years and it's not it.
Well, ma'am, they actually exist in every city. You just ignore them, right? OkCupid has released, which is from Match Group, if you don't know, they have released the results. And what they've understood is that 80% of women ignore 80% of men, meaning that they are all fighting for the top 20% at least. The men at the top 5% get overwhelming responses, where the men who are below the 20%, they have to fight for everything. Those men are available. They're right under your nose. You run into them every day. You run into them at the coffee shop. You run into them at the supermarket. You run into them everywhere you go in life. But you ignore them because you have access to these guys who look a little better, who may drive a bigger car or whatever, and that's what you like. And I get it. And no one is to say that you can't get these men. But if you want these men to be devoted, if you want these men to give you the emotional intelligence and the time and the care, then yeah, those guys, they're not really interested in that. So you have to adjust your dating strategy at least a little bit. You can't keep the same dating strategy if you're going to expect different results. It just doesn't make any sense. You have to understand who it is that you're trying to select and what options those men actually have. And what is it about you that's so special that would take them out of the dating market where they have unlimited kitty available to them? Answer that. Next video.
Have the men given up? I'm serious. They just like stopped. They don't want to have sex anymore. They don't want to go on dates with women. They just want to hang out with their boys. Like, look, I get it. Men want to hang out with men. They want to do their thing. They don't want to care about women drama anymore.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. We don't want to deal with the drama anymore. The drama is not something that men want. And unfortunately, modern day women typically bring the drama, right? They're not bringing peace, which men are already at peace alone, but then they bring the drama. And no, that's not attractive. We want peace, please.
I don't know, maybe someone can explain to me what's going on, because as long as men are not approaching women, they are going to be single. And women are having
Correct.
a great time. From what I've seen, single women are having a great time.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
What? Single women are not having a great time. That is not the case. Let's not do that. Don't make it seem as if single women are having a great time for the sheer fact that they're single, because that is not a thing. Let's not do that.
They want to hook up, but single women are having a great time. The single men, I don't know, not so much. What do you think?
That was a lie.
Oh, come on now. I'm not going to say that single people aren't surviving. I won't even say that they aren't thriving, but it's definitely not because they are single. And we also would not say that adding someone who is peaceful, someone who adds value to their life, would not be a better situation. We just can't agree on what men should do, what women should do. We can't meet at the table and come to some type of a consensus as to what each other should be providing for the other. That's our main issue. But let's carry on. Next video.
I have been single for 9 years. My last real relationship ended in 2017 when I
Ho, 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 ho. Whoa. Did she just say 9 years?
Today I got time, cuz.
Carry on.
was 27 years old. And I don't even feel like I was even really in love. Like, I don't even think I really knew what love was like in my 20s. And in my 30s, I've had like little situationships here and there. And even still, I was never in love.
Yeah, I'm sure those situationships would absolutely help prepare you for a full-blown committed relationship. Carry on.
I never felt like I could bring them home to my family and meet my mom or anything like that. But looking back on it now, I would rather be single than end up with any of those people that I used to be with. And it's just so crazy how much I really did have to learn about myself. And I truly do understand the reason why God has slowed down this journey for me of like settling down, because there was a lot of work that had to be done internally first.
Whoa. Wait a minute. 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 We heard what you said. You had to do some work internally. It's a you problem. Let's get to that part. It's a you problem. That's the problem. It's a you problem. God ain't do that. That was you. It's because you were not compatible with any man. You were not compatible with any man. God didn't slow it down. You slowed it down.
And the peace that I have now just by being by myself is unmatched. So it's like whoever tries to come into my life has so much competition with this little bubble of peace that I built for myself. I have gotten.
See, now this is that nonsense that we talk about. So whoever comes into her life has so much competition with all of her peace. I think you need to go back to the drawing board, lady. You are not ready. I apologize.
And past the phase of like feeling sorry for myself, like, oh, I wish I had a man. Like, I have gotten past that. And sometimes the grass just looks greener on the other side. I know that some people in relationships probably look at me and they're like, God, like, you're so lucky to have this time to yourself. So it's like really just how you look at things. But it's just really strange just thinking that I'm 36, single, no kids, and I kind of getting to that point where I feel like I don't even know if I want any anymore. I've been having these conversations more with my family and just kind of opening them up.
Stop it. What you're talking about is acceptance right now. You're starting to accept the fact that now you're 36, well within the geriatric pregnancy age, and you realize that unless you have a boatload of money, that you're probably not going to be able to have children if you don't act fast, and rather realize it as a sense of urgency and really put the work in. You decided to accept that maybe children may not be for you, or maybe you can adopt, or surrogate, something else. And I get it. That's fine. If you choose to be single because you haven't found a suitable partner, I get it. And that's fine. I love that for you. However, don't fraud and act like you just don't want kids no more. That doesn't go away. You're starting to accept the harsh reality that you've blew your youth. You squandered your youth. Your eggs are pretty much gone. And now you have to deal with those consequences. And you're accepting those consequences. And I commend you for that. But let's not fraud. Come on now.
To that reality, because I feel like for a second everyone was just like, oh, for sure you're gonna have kids. I'm not gonna rush into having kids just for the sake of having kids, and I'm not gonna rush into getting married just for the sake of being married. Decentering men from your life is the best thing that you can do, and just center yourself. It's no better feeling than pouring.
Yeah, you know what? I already know that this lady is blown, and I'm gonna tell you why. Once you start to mention decentering men, it's over. It is so over. It is so over. It is so over. It is so over. I'm sorry. She's cooked. 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 Cooked.
All of your love into yourself and investing in yourself and just making yourself better. And yeah, go on the dates, have fun, whatever, but it's not everything. And it's so crazy now because I've just gotten extremely, extremely picky. Like, I haven't found someone that I'm actually attracted to, that I want to get to know. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just because I feel like I just have it so good on my own that I don't even want to risk this piece. If you know, you know. If you're in this type of position, you know that you're holding out for the best of the best, and you've learned not to settle, and that's why you've gotten this far. So anyone else that's in my shoes right now that's been single for this long, I see you.
She belongs to the streets.
It's over. I apologize. Sorry, lady. You're cooked. Cooked. I'm sorry. You are absolutely cooked. That decentering man did it for me. She's trying to blame a lot of other things, but in all reality, she's just not compatible with people. Sorry to say, you're not compatible with people. It is what it is. Mind blown. It's over, man. And this is what I'm telling you. When you squander your youth, you beat the hell out of your 20s, you can't really peer bond with anyone. Your expectations become so high. You start to compare all your new guys to your old guys, and it's nearly impossible for you to have a successful relationship. And women refuse to understand that. It is what it is. Next video.
My girls in their 30s who are dating, I want to discuss an ick, like a major ick that I recently discovered. And for men too, like, you should watch this. Like, don't do this, okay? I was on a date with a guy that I met in the wild. He asked me out, you know, just out and about. We were sitting next to each other. And the date was going great. We were having a good time. We were dearly departed, having like a little drink and a little oysters. And the conversation was flowing. And I don't remember what I was talking about, but I said something like, oh, you know, like when you're in your 30s, like we are. And he goes, you're in your 30s? Like, this man's was shook. He literally scooched back, like, you're in your 30s? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm 32. Keep in mind, this man was like 36, about to be 37. And I don't know if guys like think that this is a compliment to be like, oh, you look younger. I'm 32. I'm every day of 32. Like, I don't want to look younger. I'm not trying to look younger. So I don't know if that's what he was going for. But if he was genuinely shook, like, oh, you're in your 30s and he's low-key about to be 37, how old did you think I was? Like, did you think you were asking out somebody that's like 10 years younger than you? And then my question is like, why? Because to me, my first thought is like, younger women put up with a whole lot more than I would. Like, I know in the past I put up with a whole lot of bullshit for men.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. First of all, she doesn't look a day under 30. Let's keep it G. Right? And that's not a this is just reality, right? And he was trying to flatter you. And most women, in my opinion, from what I've researched, from what I've experienced, most women, if you think they are a bit younger, then they will take that as a compliment, because women do everything that they possibly can to look younger, hence all the makeup. This is why the Botox is going crazy. Everything else that women do, every single thing that they do is because they want to look younger. They are trying to appear younger. They are trying to appear youthful. And I don't understand why she sees that as some type of a diss in the first place. And it's not creepy, right? It's not that women don't put up with certain things. It's because women don't have that type of baggage that they would if they were in their 20s, right? That's the deal. People don't want to deal with that baggage. And we're not going to say every woman, right? Nothing is absolute. There are some gems out there, like I always say. However, the overwhelming majority of women who are in their 30s and who have dated several men leading up to their 30s have dealt with a whole bunch of drama, busted oxytocin receptors, broken pair bonding, and everything else that you would think would come out of a woman who's been ran ragged in her 20s up into her 30s. And that's what men are typically trying to avoid. Simple as that. Carry on.
I'm now looking back, I shouldn't have done, but I was younger and I was like, stupid. I don't know, men, don't do that. If you think you're complimenting us, you're not. To say we look younger. I'm only 32. In the year 2026, 32 is really not that old. I'm still pretty youthful. At least I feel.
How dare you?
She's pretty pissed about that. And if you were to ask me, I would say it's really because this is a mating strategy where they suppress the other women. It's almost like a crabs in a bucket mentality where they will tell women you need to raise your standards to a ridiculous height or try to knock the younger women who are more competitive out of the dating market, because those 20-year-olds are looking for those 30-something-year-old men as well as those 30-something-year-old women. And sometimes even into the 40s, they would like some of those guys. So you have to understand that they are wildly competitive, and this is what's going on right now. So I think there's something that she's not telling us, why she felt so insulted. Modern women are told to focus on their careers and not commit or gather up as many partners as possible for experience. We know what the downside is to that. But what we don't really talk about is the effects that it also has on men. The data from the National Survey of Family Growth exposes the truth. Multiple past partners undermine future commitment for both sexes. Even though the impact is slightly asymmetrical, it remains completely detrimental across the board. The Institute for Family Studies and the Wheatley Institute prove that for every additional premarital partner, a woman's marital stability drops by over 7%, while a man drops by 6.5%. The marital satisfaction also drops by 4% with every added partner. Now look, the numbers show that the longest lasting, highest satisfaction marriages happen when both partners have zero prior history. But let's be real. In today's world, finding a partner with a zero count is completely unrealistic. That is the statistical ideal, not the everyday reality. So the strategy shouldn't be a checklist for virgins. The strategy has to be vetting for accountability. You need to know these drawbacks exist so you can look for a partner who has effectively processed their past, closed the doors, and isn't bringing expectational creep into the relationship. Society tells you to do both, but if marriage is your end game, you have to stop accumulating baggage and start looking for structural compatibility instead. We appreciate you for coming through, watching it today with us. You could have been anywhere else, but you spent it here with me. We appreciate and love you for it. And as always, stay hungry, my friends. Never thirsty.